Welcome to the Saturday Sports Line. Since 1969, the premier sports show about local high school sports, featuring coaches, players, and special guests. Now, here is your host of the Saturday Sports Line, Kankakee Valley Broadcasting's WKVI Sports Director, Mitch Columbi, and sports analyst, Chris McGowen.
Fairchild looking inside, cross-court pass to Minix. Pops the three. Swish. Big-time three from Portland Minix. The Redskins needed that one. 12-5's the score. The Lady Warriors lead here. Happy New Year from the Pulaski Memorial Hospital Studios. This is the longest-running high school sports show in Indiana, the Saturday Sports Line. What's happening? I'm Mitch Columbi, along with sports analyst Chris McGowen. Happy New Year, Chris.
Happy New Year. Back in the saddle.
Back in the saddle again. Maybe that should be the next song. Well, we've done that before.
We've done
that shtick before.
Right.
Well, did you have a good holiday?
Yeah, had a pretty good one.
Good. How's the New Year? Did you bring in the New Year right?
Oh, I bring in the New Year the same way. I haven't seen the ball drop, and
really?
I'm 47 years old. I probably haven't seen it drop in 25.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
I watched it. It wasn't too bad.
I watched the back of my eyelids.
I went to bed pretty quickly, though, afterwards. But it was a lot of fun, and we're back to work. It's back to the grindstone. You just heard the call, big-time win for both the Knox Lady Redskins and the Knox boys teams as they beat Winamac. We'll talk about the scores here in a moment. We look around our other area teams for wrestling right now. There's a lot of wrestling going on. The West Central Trojans are at Team State today. We found out a little bit about what that means. We talk with our Tyler Roth WKVI co-athletes of the week. Of course, that's Hayden and Drake Fritz, the twin brothers. We also talk with head coach Kenny Neilson. I got a pre-recorded interview we'll play after the Athlete of the Week. That's at the top of next hour. They talk about team states, and you've got to be one of the best 12 teams in 1A to appear in this team state. So good luck. It's at Rochester, so good luck to the West Central Trojans. The Knox, we'll talk about them in a minute. The North Judson-San Pierre Blue Jays wrestling team is in action. The Hawks Super Duel at Hebron. I know your brother, the head coach of the wrestling team. Have you guys talked about the wrestling team at Judson yet?
Just a little bit. He keeps it close to the vest.
I know.
He's an odd duck.
He's an interesting cat. I stopped in to see their senior night when they were announcing their seniors. It was really nice to see everybody noticed and every. But I never had a chance to walk up to. I'll be honest with you, I was a little intimidated. I'm not intimidated with him at football practice, but there at the wrestling meet, I was like, okay, he's in his zone. I'm going to let him be for now. But it was neat to kind of see. I've never actually watched a full wrestling meet, so that's something I kind of want to figure out.
Oh, it's something you got to do. I used to coach wrestling.
Something I want to learn.
Oh yeah, it is intense. And I tell you what, I was a basketball player in high school, and I got asked to when I first started coaching to help coach the wrestling team at North Judson. And I said, I've never wrestled. I'm a basketball guy. He said, I need you to be my strength and conditioning guy. All right, and then
I can do that.
And he said, then you can learn the moves as we get into it. And so, there were times, like my brother, I got to coach him, and we didn't have anybody that could go up against him.
Sure.
And so in practice,
pretty easy to tell.
In practice, that was me.
That was you. Of
course
it was you.
I was the dummy.
Big brother.
Yeah, big brother. He broke my nose one wrestling practice, but hey, it's just one of those funny stories. But he just shoved 2 plugs up my nose and said, "Let's go on the mat. Let's get going. Let's get going again." After he broke my nose, but hey, it's all good.
Some things you just don't forget.
Nope.
Well, good luck to the Blue Jays today on the wrestling mat. Also, the Winamac Warriors are in action, taking on, or actually they're in the West Noble Super Duels in West Noble. The Culver Cavaliers are in action as well on the wrestling mat. They are going to the Triton Super Duel at Triton, so good luck to the Culver Cavs. And then finally, out of Knox, Katie Snyder has qualified for state. She went to semi-state, and she qualified for state. Of course, the Knox Redskins are in action at Goshen High School. But last night during our game, we had an opportunity to catch up with head coach of the Knox wrestling team, Julio Cisnernos. He talked about Katie Snyder's big-time qualification to states. Here's the interview.
had a great tournament today. Her qualifying match, second match, because you got to win 2 to qualify.
Right.
Okay. The first one, she basically wore the girl out and pinned her in the third period.
Wow.
She had to come back, and I told her it's all the work that we do.
Yeah.
And her second one was kind of anticlimactic because it's the ticket round. You win, you're going to state.
Sure.
Well, 14 seconds into the match, she dislocated the girl's elbow.
Oh my God.
So it was kind of hard to celebrate when her opponent's laying on the ground.
Right.
Yeah, with her body pointed one way and her arm pointed the other way. So I mean, it was kind of hard. I just turned her out
like
to her and
did
said,
your job.
"Well, you're going to state."
You're going to state.
Yeah, 2 years ago when Gunnar Kraus qualified, we were hooting and hollering, screaming and yelling.
Yeah.
You couldn't do that then.
No, not that moment.
Situations. And then, she made it to the Final Four, so she's going to state. Out of the 4 girls that qualified at that weight class, she was the only one at Penn that was not state ranked.
Wow.
So she lost to the number 13 girl. It's the second time she's lost to her. She lost to her 9-7.
Wow.
And then she lost to the number 3 ranked girl in the state 4-0.
Wow.
So she's right there with those girls. And her being a sophomore, I just told her, I said, you're right there. We just got to do a little bit more work, correct a little bit of mistakes. We got a short week, but next Friday we're going to Kokomo. I was driving on the way here because we got back. Connor Winsack went with me because I needed somebody else to help me coach.
Sure.
And he's one of our seniors, he's team captain.
Yeah.
So he was happy because he got out of school because we had school today. And so the first things, we were up in the stands talking about it, and he goes, "You mean I get another day off of school next week?" I said,
right.
"Yes, we do." So he was excited. But, as we were coming back from the meet, I said, "Hey, we might get back in time for practice." And Connor goes, "I'm not practicing." So, we got Goshen tomorrow. We're pulling out at 5 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
So I wanted to come and watch the girls because, they support us. We're going to support them. That's something we're trying to build at the school. Support everybody.
All right, Coach. Hey, thanks for coming and talking to us.
Thanks for having me.
Really glad we had an opportunity to catch up with Julio Cisnernos. He stopped by to talk with us between games last night. Congratulations to Katie Snyder. We're not just covering basketball. And, we're covering 8 schools times 2 with the basketball teams. That's 16 coaches. You add in the wrestling coaches. That's several more coaches. We're not even talking about the swimming. So it's really kind of hard to figure out times when we can talk with all these coaches. I just really appreciated him coming up and just taking the initiative. So if you see me at some of these games, just come on up. Just come on up. We'll get you on the air. We'll try to figure out a way that we can talk to you because there's a limited amount of time on Saturday morning. So I just really wanted to say I appreciate Julio Cisnernos just taking the initiative so that we could talk about Katie Snyder making it to state. Congratulations for her and the Knox Redskins as they are also in action today in Goshen. Chris, that was a pretty good interview.
It was a good interview.
Yeah, I like Julio. He's a fun guy.
And I'm going to go ahead and get myself in trouble here right now, and you can punch me if you want to.
Okay.
But, hey, we need to get some more sponsors. We make this a 3-hour show.
I know, right? Wouldn't that be wonderful?
I know.
574-772-6241. It's a quick phone call away, or you could email me, Mitch@WKVI.com.
I don't want to be the money guy.
Easy. Yeah, but seriously.
But seriously, we if we had an extra 60 minutes.
Yeah. Who knows what we could make happen?
Who knows what we could have,
Absolutely.
It'd be a lot easier on us, on you and I.
It would be. It would be. And the coaches may be happy with us.
I know.
Could you believe that?
I tell you what, I'm living the dream right now, man. Being a teacher, being a coach, doing this, just
you're doing a lot.
Oh, I'm getting it. I'm getting
You're
it from
a man
everywhere.
of many hats.
I tell you what, I'm hearing people aggravated all the time.
That's just part of it. I knew when I took the job from Harold, I didn't take the job to make friends. I knew that immediately when I took the job. But we get back right into it. We're talking basketball here. We were at the Winamac Warriors Knox Redskin doubleheader last night. The Knox Lady Redskins pulled out a big-time win over the Winamac Lady Warriors 58-48. If you missed that broadcast, man, you missed a good one. It went all the way to the second half. I mean, it was really that good of a ball game. Winamac really was in control throughout the majority of the ball game. Then the third and fourth quarter, the Knox Lady Redskins took off. Then in the second game, the Knox Redskins boys basketball team also won over Winnemac. 45-40 was the final. Our first time we had a chance to see the Winnemac Warriors. John Malco, while he leads the team in points, he was held to a lot less than he normally was. We know he is definitely one of the better basketball players in the area. We will see him next Friday as they take on the North Judson-San Pierre Blue Jays. We see the Culver Cavaliers and head coach Kyle Evans come up with a tough loss last night on the road at Caston. We actually had a chance to talk with Kyle in our Collins Insurance postgame show. That's something else we're adding to the fun of what we're doing on Friday night. Stay tuned for the Collins Insurance postgame show. We're starting to call some of our other area coaches that played that night to kind of catch us up on what happened, especially if they're not able to make it the next morning on Saturday morning. So that kind of gives us an opportunity. If we're not going to talk to them on Saturday, we can catch up with them on Friday night after the game. But anyway, Kyle told us it was a tough game last night against Caston. They were right there. 76-62 was the final. Also, big shout out to Kyle. He just recently had a newborn. So congratulations to Kyle Evans and his family on their newborn baby. Also, the South Central Satellites were in action. They unfortunately fell on the road to Hebron, 72-23. We had a chance to talk to Matty Bush in the post-game show last night. We're also going to talk to him this morning in the second hour. It'll be the first time we've actually had an opportunity to talk with him, so I'm very excited to meet him. The West Central Trojans, West Central Lady Trojans, took on North Newton and won last night 50-14. We caught up with Tyson Mellon in the Collins Insurance postgame show last night. He was ecstatic, and they are doing so well this season, 10-7 right now. They take on DeMont Christian tonight at home in the Trojan Trench. 7:30 p.m. Eastern is the tip-off time. The West Central Trojans boys basketball team, they unfortunately lost to North Newton last night. We had an opportunity to talk with Brad Odom as well in the postgame show. They turn right around, though, and they host Oregon Davis tonight, 6 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Central is the tip-off time. The Tri-Township Tigers, tough loss last night to Washington Township, 53-40. And then finally, the Lady Tigers of Tri-Township were undefeated coming into last night's matchup with Washington Township. A tough one, a tough loss to swallow. 45-42 was the final. We're lucky enough to have head coach Chris McGowen in the house. Coach, talk us through last night. I'll tell you what I told Coach Minix last night in the Collins Insurance postgame show. I said I'd rather have this loss happen now than tournament time.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to lose, I never want to lose.
Sure.
And the girls are they have figured that out about me. I don't care if we're playing marbles, tiddlywinks, or whatever. Especially if we're keeping score, I don't ever want to lose. But, with everything that this group in the last 2.5+ years has accomplished here at Tri-Township, it's a time now where you can kind of step back and kind of reflect and truly appreciate what they've done.
Yeah.
But we're not done yet. Even on my social media, I'm back on Facebook after about a 10-year hiatus. But like I posted this morning, it wasn't for a lack of effort last night.
Sure.
It come down to basically Washington Township just made one more play than we did, and that's the game of basketball. But like I said, I finished my post this morning with the new streak starts today.
Yeah. Absolutely. Well, talk us through the ending there. I know we talked off air a little bit about the last few seconds there, but really, and the way I've always looked at it is, did you take care of things leading up to the last 5 seconds? The last 5 seconds are the last 5 seconds, but what happened before then that needed to be taken care of? Walk us through the end. Okay,
through the end. I mean, we're down 3. There's maybe 10 seconds left to go. We get a steal, and I'm sitting on 3 timeouts. And, in that split second, for the people that get to sit up in the stands and don't have to go through what we go through as coaches, it's hindsight's always 20/20. But I'll be honest with you, would I do things differently this morning if the same situation arises? No, I'm not going to change what we did or what my thought process was. And, quite honestly, I don't owe anybody an explanation other than my athletic director and my principal, the people that are above me. But my thought process at that time is the fact that, 10 seconds left to go, 9 seconds left to go, whatever. They're scrambling because we got a turnover. We're down 3. We got to know the situation, okay? And I'm not going to call a timeout because defensively, like I said, they are scrambling. They have to find.
They don't know what's coming.
Yeah, they have to find where our shooters are. Now it's up to us to be able to get down and get in a spot to where we can, get an open 3 to tie the game. But I'm not going to fault Sydney. I would never fault anybody for that situation. She decides to pass it up, and she airmails Jade, who's open for a layup. But at that point, we don't need a 2-pointer. We need 3. So I'm never going to fault the effort because I'm telling you, she's going 125 miles an hour.
Yeah.
But you look at it, and everybody's going to look at the final minute of that game and second guess everything that is done. But like I explained to the girls last night, now you understand why I coach just as hard in the first minute of the game as I do the last minute of the game, because every single possession counts. Every single one.
Every free throw.
Every free throw. I mean, don't even get me started.
Every turnover.
We missed 4 free throws late in the game last night. And there's 4 points. We win by 1. And everything adds up. Every little thing adds up. Whether you are completing the little things to add up to great things, or you're not completing those little things, it's going to add up to heartbreak. Last night, it added up to heartbreak. But again, like I said, it wasn't for a lack of effort, but now, the girls are understanding why I am the way that I am. Because, we had 13, 14 turnovers last night, which, that's not bad. But if we cut that in half, if we get 7 more shot attempts up, we win the basketball game. It's every little thing adds up. We led 15 of the 16 minutes of the first half, and it was the last second 3 that gave them the lead right before halftime. We led probably 14 of the 16 minutes of the second half. We built an 8-point lead.
So it was your game.
It was our game. It was there for us to take, and we forced a couple of shots that we didn't need to take. They're playing a zone. We're up 8, and I'm screaming, just move the ball around, run the clock, pull them out of the zone, get them to come back out and play us man, make them chase us. And we forced 3 or 4 shots there that we didn't need to take. Again, it's those things that add up to what happened last night at the end of the game. And again, it wasn't for, like I said, it wasn't for a lack of effort. That's for sure. I'm proud of these girls. I'm proud of everything they were able to accomplish. Let's go back to earlier in the week. Jade Pryor.
Yeah.
Holy cow!
Broke a school record.
School record, had 38 points, and I'm going to tell you right now that was a team effort. And it's not that she was shooting nothing but layups. Jade knocked down 5 or 6 jump shots, had a 3-pointer, and was knocking down jumpers left and right. But again,
had 10 rebounds.
They had 10 rebounds, 7 steals. But again, the other girl's making the steal and finding her, when we're in our press, getting her the basketball. It was unbelievable. I've never seen a girl or boy, for that matter, score 26 points in 6 minutes.
Yeah, that's what you told me. It was a 6-minute span. She scored 26 of the 38. That's incredible.
It was unbelievable to see and unbelievable to watch. But but again, that's the style of basketball that we play. That could be anybody on any given night.
Sure.
It just happened to be Jade's night that night. And, but back to last night, it's all the little things that add up that put you in a position,
Yeah.
And you got to give Washington Township credit. I don't want to, the Klinger girl last night hit 4 threes, and all 4 of them were, from 24, 25 feet off the dribble step back.
That's just good offense.
You can't defend that. So does she do that again? Is she capable of doing that again? Yeah, she's capable of doing that again. But I like our chances if we force her to shoot those shots again, to come up on the positive side of that. But again, you got to give her credit. I mean, you got to give Washington Township credit. They made one more 3-pointer than we did, and we missed 4 more free throws than they did.
Well, I always look at the glass half full. I think this is a blessing in disguise for you guys. It's the perfect time to happen. I know that you don't want to hear that, but I think with this part of the season, you've got 1, 2, the county tournament, 3, 4, so maybe six games total, maybe left of the season, regular season. I think this is the perfect time. If you're going to lose, this is now the time to get that into your belt. Now they're a little ticked off, I assume. They're probably really ticked off right now.
Yeah, Well,
I wouldn't want to face a ticked off Lady Tiger team, especially if I'm Couts, is who you're facing next. This coming, the 9th.
Right, on Tuesday. But again, it's another Porter County Conference opponent. They know what we do. We know what they do. It's going to be a battle. I mean, doesn't matter how good one team is or how bad the other team is in the Porter County Conference. If you don't show up with your A game, you're going to be in a dogfight. And that's all there is to it. But, last night, again, back to last night, I just, these girls, and I actually had people come up to me afterwards and say, Coach, one loss isn't going to make or break the season.
Yeah.
But you kind of wonder, the 15-0, the not losing, the weight that was on. They've never now it's gone. This program has never been in that situation before.
Best start in school history.
All the accomplishments the last 2.5 years that this group has accomplished is absolutely, the list is absolutely amazing. But we're not done. And I want people to understand that this one loss is not going to make or break our season. It could make it.
Yeah.
That's for sure. If we refocus, we re-energize, but now that weight of carrying that zero is gone.
You don't have to worry about it.
So now we can, the girls are coming in for a workout this morning. Coach Drook is actually running them through some individual workouts this morning. So I got, I'm doing the radio show, and then I got to go do Tiny Tigers, but they wanted to come in early this morning and get it done and over
right
with.
Away.
And so, that's fine. Coach Drook's going to run it. But again, that weight and that pressure is off the shoulders now, and now we can come back to get back to work, put the hard hat on, bring the lunch pail, and let's get after it.
I'd say there's a lot of teams in the area that probably wishes they were 15-1, Coach.
You're probably right. 16-0 does sound better, but you talked about. I'm going to say this too. I got to end up with a little bit of comedy here, but you talked about we talked about the free throw shooting, and off air we were kind of talking about it. About it. To me, they're free. You should never miss it. It's like me going to the buffet. Okay. You can
eat your money's worth.
I'm gonna get my money's worth. Now the buffet's not free, but I'm gonna fit in that extra plate, and you're gonna roll me out of the buffet.
Yeah.
Hey, I got all this,
everything you can give
exactly.
me.
And so you step up, and right now the free throw shooting is just a mental block.
Yeah.
But again, I think it'd be 265 pounds by pushing myself away from the buffet. No, hey, if you're gonna give it to me, I'm gonna take it.
I'm gonna take it, and some more,
So. It's just one of those things. So, again, I can't fault the effort. I love these girls. I wouldn't trade these girls for anybody. They're a great group of kids, and we're going to be better because of what happened last night. There's a lot to take from it, a lot to learn from it. And, hey, the Lady Tiger fans, you're always talking about, what do you say to Tiger Nation? Hey, don't give up on these girls because something special's coming.
I love to hear it, Coach. Thanks so much for your time. Don't go anywhere. You got to put your sports analyst hat back on now.
What? I got to earn my money now?
That's head coach Chris McGowen of the Tri-Township Lady Tigers. 15-1. They are still hot and looking good. Best start to Lady Tigers season ever. We're going to take a break. We're going to talk with Kent Chezem, head coach of the North Judson-San Pierre Blue Jays after the break. You're listening to the Saturday Sports Line.
Spins around to the left block, gets rid of it. Back up top to Short, who swings it over to Miles McLaughlin. Pops the three! Splash! Big time shot for Miles McLaughlin. 7-0 here early. Oh, it's going to be a steal on the inbounds pass. Maggie Smith comes up with it coast to coast for the right-handed layup, and she gets it to go. She's so fast. I barely had a chance to look up, and she already had the ball coast to coast. 12-0, the Lady Warriors lead. 4 minutes to go here in the first half. The Warriors lead by 2, 12-10. Logan Taylor fakes a three, drives inside, gets the layup to go off the glass. 12-12, tie ball game here.
At First Farmers Bank and Trust, we know that when agriculture thrives, we all do. It's the heart and grit of our agricultural communities that keep the crops coming in and the livestock cared for. Hi, I'm Isaac Blue, your ag lender at First Farmers here in Knox and North Judson. Thank you for all your hard work. And when you're ready to talk about taking your ag operation to the next level, come by for a visit. Let's harvest success together. First Farmers Bank and Trust, member FDIC, equal opportunity lender.
Stay tuned for more sports talk with Mitch Columbi and Chris McGowen on the longest-running high school sports show in Indiana, the Saturday Sports Line.
The Stark County Co-op has been a member-owned farm services co-op in Stark County since 1928. That's over 90 years, and they're still providing the same quality agronomy services to the farming community of Stark and surrounding counties. The Stark County Co-op is an LP and fuel provider. The Stark County Co-op purchases grain at both locations, Hamlet and Brems. You can reach them by phone at 1-800-782-3392, the Stark County Co-op.
Since 1936, Standard Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning have always taken pride in doing the job right. Third-generation owner Brian Hammond and his family have always set the standard when it comes to taking care of all your heating and cooling needs. Making your home a comfortable home is the absolute top priority. If you are uncomfortable in your home, give them a call at 574-936-4660. Follow them on Facebook. Let Standard Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning help you take control of your comfort. You're listening to Mitch Columbi and Chris McGowen on Kankakee Valley Broadcasting's WKVI.
The Knox Lady Redskins have possession. It's Presley Messer to take it out. Here comes the play into Cheryl Barnes. Puts up a shot off the glass. She gets it to go as that's the end of the first half. 27-17. The Winnemac Lady Warriors lead the Knox Lady Redskins.
From the Pulaski Memorial Hospital studios, this is the Saturday Sports Line. We're talking North Judson-San Pierre Blue Jay basketball with head coach of the boys basketball team, Kent Chezem. Happy New Year, Coach. How are you?
Great. How are you?
I'm doing good. Did you have a good holiday?
We did.
Good. Well, I got to see my family. Did you get to hang out with your family?
Got my kids and my daughter's husband came up and spent some time, and we were able to go down to Frankfort and see my parents and my brother, and so it was a good time.
You played for Frankfort?
No, I played at Clinton Prairie.
Okay. I didn't know if you were, I was about to say, you're a hot dog?
No, definitely I am not a hot dog.
I am definitely. Well, Coach, you've had some wins since the last time we talked. Of course, you took down the Knox Redskins the 22nd there right before Christmas, 39-33. Since that time, you won the holiday tournament there at Couts. You beat Trinity Greenlawn 37-21, then Frontier 52-41. Catch us up. Talk about Trinity Greenlawn first.
They play a zone, and they play a zone 32 minutes every game. And, they kind of tried to slow the game down a little bit, too. They really try to spread it out and even try to hold it a little bit early and try to keep the game close. I thought our guys really executed well early. We thought that they might try to do that and took care of our possessions early, and it's kind of hard to hold the ball when you're down 6 or 8 points in the first quarter. So we were able to kind of flip the script on them a little bit, and then at the end of the game, we just kind of pulled it out too. We knew we had a second game that night, and then we played a a really up and coming Frontier team. They've struggled a little bit early, but they had some starters out. They had everybody in our game. They've got a new coach, and they got things kind of rolling a little bit better. And they played really well against us. And I think we finished the game well there. Maybe it was closer than it needed to be, but give a lot of credit to Frontier.
I've been wanting to ask you this question for a few weeks. We've talked before, and I know other coaches do this, but it seems like every time I'm talking to you, you're scouting other teams. Is that something that you really, not only are you worrying about practice, but you're always looking ahead? You're scouting out.
There's a fine balance there. I mean, you're always scouting your own team and trying to figure out what you need to do better and how you can get the kids to play better. It's kind of funny. I was last night. I decided to scout from home. We weren't able to do that back in the past. You have to get in the car and go.
Well, you watched online.
So I watched LaVille and Westview online. I had in the background, I had the WKVI broadcast.
Oh, thank you.
I was listening to you guys. And then when LaVille was over, then I was able to watch Knox and Winamac and got a lot of the second half. So I saw 2 games last night and even got online and watched a little Culver and Caston and just kind of made the rounds last night.
You're just having fun, aren't you?
So, you like basketball, you like basketball.
Well, and that's the great thing about technology. That is the one good thing about technology. It has made life a little bit easier for us coaches. We don't have to spend as much time away from family now because we have the luxury of being able to watch it from home. But, me, I still like to see a team at least live once before I play them. Try to.
I do too. And, but last night we're playing LaVille. We played LaVille and we played the same kids. They've got 3 really good players that have played for 3 years.
Right.
So there's really nothing that you don't know about them already, just kind of confirming everything that you've already seen on film. And so I didn't feel like I needed to get there, but you're right. I do like to watch, especially the new teams, the teams that maybe are new on our schedule or have new kids coming up. I like to see those guys in person.
So are you happy with where your team's at right now? You're 8-1.
Well, yeah. I mean, you'd like to be 9-0. I think I just heard someone else talk about that one loss.
Right.
But we're pretty happy. We've got 4 seniors who have really been leaders for us. Things kind of start with Quinn Bales. Quinn is, I think, as versatile a player as anybody in the area. He can drop 25 on you. He can get 10 rebounds. He can get 10 assists. He guards. I said last year in the regional championship, he guarded their team's point guard and he guarded their 250-pound center all in the same game. But then, he's got some classmates that are pretty good players too. Connor Benson, our point guard, and Sam Holm comes off the bench, and Lucas Burka is kind of an athlete. He's kind of a jack of all trades. He does a little bit of everything for us. So those seniors have really provided great leadership. We lost a great class last year, and we've just kind of backfilled them right here with another great senior class, and our juniors have really stepped up. We've got, we only play 7. We're not real deep, but we've got 7 really good players. Josiah McDaniel's averaging over 15 a game. Cole Wilcox is he gets better every single day.
Does he?
I think
he was pretty good against that Knox.
He was, and he was really good in the tournament. And this week in practice, he's had a good week. He's just a different breed. I mean, how many guys are 6 foot tall and bench 415 pounds that can dunk on you? And now he's making some threes once in a while. So you got a hard time guarding him in the post. You have a hard time guarding him on the perimeter. And another kid that I don't talk as much about, and I probably should, is Owen Radke. Owen started on the JV last year as a sophomore. He's worked as hard as anybody we have in our program in the off season, and he has really become a quality player for us. He's almost a 6th starter. In fact, he really is. We put him in the game a couple minutes in.
He's pretty tall, too.
Yeah, and his dad calls him Stretch. That's his nickname. And he's got long arms.
He does.
He has a knack for rebounding. He knows where the ball is going to be. We put him on the other team's best player, so he's our top defender. He can knock down 3. He just doesn't make very many mistakes, and it's really nice to have a guy to come off the bench that – makes you better in a lot of ways.
Absolutely. And then you talk about LaVille. You said you're preparing for them. That's tonight in the Nest, 6:30 p.m. Central. What does Blue Jay Nation need to be prepared for when it comes to LaVille?
They're like every time you play one of Coach Edison's teams. They're tough, they're physical, they screen a lot. They set a lot of moving screens, and they're good at it.
They get away with it.
But they're good at it. But they are a physical group. They're tall and athletic. They're bigger than we are, so that's a concern. So they're one of the top teams in our conference. They're one of the top teams in our sectional, and it's good to get to see them right now here towards the second part of the season as we get ready. If we want to win a sectional, we're going to have to probably beat those guys. So we'd like to do it twice. Usually, you play a team like LaVille, it's for a championship. You got to about win them all if you're going to win the conference. So this is our first chance at a conference game. So we'd like to get off on the right foot. Yeah.
Then you face Winnemac, another conference opponent. We're going to see you guys next Friday, the 12th, at Winnemac and Warrior Gymnasium. What'd you see last night, or from here?
It's kind of funny. I've been able to see Winnemac several times in person this year, and they're strong and physical. They play really hard. Malco kid he's a load. There's times where he's unguardable. Maybe I need to watch a little bit more of that film last night because Knox was able to guard him last night. But Coach does a great job over there, and those kids are playing for their third coach in 3 years, and for
that's
them,
a lot.
Yeah, I know, and it's tough. But for the level of play that they've displayed, I think is really a testament to what Coach has done, and they're playing well.
All right, I have to ask this question. Inquiring minds are wanting to know. On a personal note, when it comes to the Winnemac week, with your wife being the superintendent at Winnemac, how much trash talking goes on at home between the two of you?
We pretty much avoid each other.
Probably best.
We've had 31 great years of marriage, 31 years of bliss, and we don't want to ruin it over a basketball game. So we just kind of avoid each other for the week.
Usually they say you're supposed to communicate in a marriage, but probably that week would probably be best to shut up.
She's going to be wearing a little extra burgundy every day.
Yeah, I think so.
You have to bring out the blue every day.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
Well, Coach, I know we've talked about it before, but now that you're getting into this portion of the season where you're going to be seeing a lot of conference opponents, how important is it to beat conference opponents?
Well, our conference is really balanced this year, and I think I don't know that in the 4 years that I've been here, it's been any more balanced than this. I think anybody on any given night can win a conference game. And, I told the kids yesterday in film session, winning the sectional is what gets your picture on the wall at North Judson. And it should. But maybe winning the conference is harder. You've got more games. You got to play games on the road. You're playing over a longer period of time. You have to deal with sickness and injury. In sectional, you just have to play well for 1 week.
Right.
And you can
At that time.
But conference is tough, and it's a grind, and it starts tonight for us.
Well, good luck, Coach. We're going to be keeping our ear out for you. We hope to hear a big time Blue Jay win.
All right. Thank you.
All right, that's head coach of the North Judson-San Pierre Blue Jays, Kent Chezem, here on the Saturday Sports Line. We appreciate his time, and good luck to the Blue Jays tonight against LaVille. We're going to take a break. We are going to prepare to talk to Joe Eskridge, head coach of the Knox Redskins, coming off their big-time win over Winnemac last night, 45-40. That's on the other side of the break. You're listening to the Saturday Sports Line.
Oh, he's going to throw it right to Jace Bentel. Another turnover for the Redskins. Here comes Jace crossing over, driving inside, coast to coast, puts up the right-handed layup. You better book it. 14-12, 2-point lead for Winnemac now. Maggie Smith, entry pass to Piper Link now, asserting her dominance, trying to get space, and she gets it to go. Back up to a 10-point ball game now for the Lady Warriors, 23-13.
At First Farmers Bank and Trust, we know that when agriculture thrives, we all do. It's the heart and grit of our agricultural communities that keep the crops coming in and the livestock cared for. Hi, I'm Isaac Blue, your ag lender at First Farmers here in Knox and North Judson. Thank you for all your hard work. And when you're ready to talk about taking your ag operation to the next level, come by for a visit. Let's harvest success together. First Farmers Bank and Trust, member FDIC, equal opportunity lender.
Stay tuned for more sports talk with Mitch Columbi on Kankakee Valley Broadcasting's WKVI.
Real magic is everywhere. It's in your mom's cooking, in 4-hour dinners with friends, in that first bite of something new, and in the fizz of a Coca-Cola. Now with so many options for less than $5, the Coca-Cola Value Collection will help you make the most out of every magic moment for so much less. Taste the magic for less with Coca-Cola.
Listen for more insight in local high school sports on the Saturday Sports Line. Here's your sports director, Mitch Columbi.
Back over to McLaughlin. Pops the three. Splash. Big time shot from Miles McLaughlin as the Redskins tie things up. 26-all here.
From the Pulaski Memorial Hospital studios, we are back for the Saturday Sports Line. Mitch Columbi, along with sports analyst Chris McGowen. Sorry, I almost said Terry Minix. I'm sorry, I got too many sports analysts.
I don't know.
I have too much going on right
For me, that's probably a compliment. For him, that's probably not.
Hopefully he's not listening.
Oh no, no, I'm downgrading myself.
Aubrey, she's out there. So.
Oh, Aubrey's here already?
Yeah.
Oh, she heard it.
Yeah, she heard it. She's probably out there laughing.
We're in trouble. We're talking with head coach of the Knox Redskins, Joe Eskridge. Big time win last night against the Winamac Warriors, 45-40. Coach, we talked in the post game. We also had a chance to talk with Caleb Schwant and Jay Sean Tinsley in the post game. I like where you guys are at right now. I know you guys were coming off a couple losses in the tournament, but from that first game we saw against Culver and then last night against Winamac, Coach Minix and I really like where this team's at. How do you guys feel?
Yeah, I mean, we was happy to go in there to Winamac and pull out a conference win last night, and yeah, especially like you said, coming off a few tough losses here over the holiday break, and so yeah, it was nice to come back again, big against the conference and get that win last night, and yeah, hopefully start to right the ship again.
Well, when I was talking to Coach Stasiak in the girls portion of the game, actually that was the pregame, I talked to him. He said if he could figure out, or if he could figure out how to handle holiday break as a basketball coach, he'd write a book and make billions. Because he said it's just trying to corral people through the holiday season. The kids are excited. Christmas is right around the corner, and the New Year's. It's just something that he said as a head coach you've got to learn to deal with. Did you have an issue through the holiday season that you were trying to keep your kids on task for what was about to happen to continue this season? Oh,
yeah, I mean, there's a lot of truth in that. It's there's a lot going on, and these are you got to remember they're kids. You have maybe families coming in here, and we need to go there. Oh, I can't go there because I got to go to practice, and then and keep all that focused on that next opponent it's a challenge. But I mean, it's what we do.
And I think and a lot of that I think
part of the job title.
Well, yeah, and a lot of that depends on the type of team that you have coming back. I mean, if you've got an experienced team, you might be able to take an extra day off. If you don't have that experience, you probably need to practice as much as possible. We actually had to practice on New Year's Day because we played on the 2nd. So I had practice at 8:00 in the morning on New Year's Day.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Man, I am glad I'm not in high school anymore. I'd have been so upset. I don't remember practicing on New Year's Day.
Oh, I can remember in high school one time we had to be show up. We were supposed to have practice at 7:00 in the morning. On New Year's Day, and it was just one of those where we got into the gym and we lined up the stretch, and Coach McCullough just looks at us and says, "All right, go home."
Just to have you come in.
Just to see.
Just to see who'd show up. Well, that's the test. That's like you said. That's what we do.
Yeah, when I was with Dean Foster, he brought him in on Christmas Day.
On Christmas Day?
Yeah, at 5 in the morning.
Wow.
But it was kind of one. It was a nice thing though. It was almost like he created a team Christmas, and you come in and his wife made breakfast for the boys and stuff like that.
So it wasn't just.
So I mean, and then plus, you're out there at 6:30, and it was like no harm, no foul. You go do your family thing. Most people aren't doing their Christmas at 5 a.m.
Right. We can get it in.
But
I have to put that one in my back pocket. I like that.
Yeah, I liked it. I've toyed with it, but
I've toyed with it.
But like Coach said, you do what you feel like you need to do. The way things were going, typically we've come in on New Year's Day myself, but we gave them the day off this year because that's what we felt like we needed.
Yeah, absolutely. You're in a 3-game stretch now on the road. You've actually been on the road since the 16th. Oh man, you are going to face Lowell on Tuesday. And then next Friday, you're on the road at LaVille, which is another conference matchup. I know you're one game at a time, but talk us through the upcoming week for the Knox Redskins.
Yeah, we got to take a look at Lowell here. 4A school, and we got to go to their place and do it. So, and really, I've peeked at them a little bit here, but, that starts today. Really dive in and get ready for the next opponent there, Lowell, and then of course, got another conference opponent on the road, and I think we get to come back home.
Yes, you do. Kankakee Valley.
Yeah, and hey,
a whole month on the road.
That's our guys. It's just the beginning of the year have been a little bit inconsistent, and you're doing that playing really tough opponents on the road, those type of things. But you can see those like last night where, it's helped. Sometimes you have those struggles and you figure things out. And I think that's what our guys they're coming in and they're going to work and they're doing that. Showed last night, and then we'll get another couple of days of work here, and then we'll get better Tuesday and so on.
And that's it. You talk about the success the football team had, and the same thing for North Judson as well. The success that the football programs at Knox and North Judson had, those kids, those football players are getting a late start, and it's going to take 3 to 4 weeks of playing basketball against competition in a game to actually figure out where you're at. And so you guys are coming now probably to the tail end of that 3 weeks, so things now ought to be on the upward trend.
Yeah, last night Miles McLaughlin plays a great game, and that's what we've seen. We shaking that rust off.
Yeah, exactly.
And then and now kind of settling in. Jake Conroy coming in. Playing well. He's it's just
that kid's just an athlete.
Yeah, and he's coming in, and and you can see it. They're getting more comfortable, and Caleb last night, played well. So it's and that's you start to put things together. Like you start the year, you have basically this group, and then a whole new thing comes in,
right?
And then it takes a little bit while for it to gel sometimes, and I don't know, we'll get there.
And as a coach, it takes time too. Yeah, you think you have a rotation that you've settled on in practice or whatever, but then you get into a game, and that rotation may change, and you got to find that rotation. People think what we do is easy, but as coaches, we have to take a look at who we have, what that individual person, what skill set that they do well. That could help you on a given night, and I tell my girls that are on the bench, you guys have to be ready, because there may be a game where you may not see the floor. Your particular skill set doesn't benefit us in this situation, but the next night, you may not play the night before, but the next night what you give us is going to help us win this basketball game. So you may get a lot of minutes. You never know, and you always got to be ready. And as coaches, that's our job to figure out where we can plug and play and give us the best opportunity to win basketball games.
Yeah, and we've had that discussion here just in the past week.
Right.
Telling the guys, hey, the 5 guys that start the game doesn't necessarily mean that they're the 5 best players, as far as whatever you would measure that on, but it's the 5 that gives us the best chance to win on this night or that night, or who plays the minutes that, hey, this guy might come in and play a lot this night because this is what we need, and the next night it may be the next guy. So that's what just like you said, they just got to be ready and come in there and take advantage when it's your turn.
Well, Coach, we're in the new year. It's now time. You're getting ready for the rest of this season and getting prepared for the postseason. It's going to fly. Time is flying. I appreciate you coming in. Good luck this coming week against Lowell and LaVille, and we'll talk next week.
All right. Thank you.
All right. That is head coach of the Knox Redskins boys basketball team, Joe Eskridge, here on the Saturday Sports Line. We're going to take a break and come back. We're going to talk Oregon Davis Lady Cat basketball with head coach Aubrey Lady. That's on the other side. You're listening to the Saturday Sports Line.
Coming up on 4 minutes to go here in the third quarter. Rylan Jordan pops a three. She gets it to go. The Lady Redskins have pulled within 2 here. It's 30-28.
It's hard to believe, but time sure does fly by. Collins Insurance Agency in downtown Knox are celebrating over 30 years of taking care of all of your insurance needs in our communities.
If I could turn back time.
And we're not going anywhere. Stop in and see Jim and the crew at Collins Insurance Agency in downtown Knox. Insurance you can count on from a business you've trusted since 1989. Proud presidential partners of Western Reserve.
Stay tuned for more sports talk with Mitch Columbi and Chris McGowen on the longest-running high school sports show in Indiana, the Saturday Sports Line. Since 1936, Standard Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning have always taken pride in doing the job right. Third-generation owner Brian Hammond and his family have always set the standard when it comes to taking care of all your heating and cooling needs. Making your home a comfortable home is the absolute top priority. If you are uncomfortable in your home, give them a call at 574-936-4660. Follow them on Facebook. Let Standard Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning help you take control of your comfort. It's time now for more local sports talk from the Pulaski Memorial Hospital studios of Kankakee Valley Broadcasting and worldwide on WKVI.com.
Riley Taylor back to Portland Lennox, top of the key as they cross half court. It's Riley Taylor with the ball, back to Portland, pops the three, top of the key, splash, big time three. It's raining threes in Warrior Gymnasium.
From the Pulaski Memorial Hospital studios, this is the Saturday Sports Line. Mitch Columbia along with sports analyst Chris McGowen. I got it right that time. We have head coach of the Oregon Davis Lady Cats, Aubrey Lady, also the athletic director at Oregon Davis. You do it all, Coach. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good.
Well, I got to get your opinion real quick. What do you think about him almost calling me Terry Minix?
Hey, you guys are both bald, so I guess
that's where I was going. That's where I was going with that.
You said that because Aaron Russ texted me. He goes, neither one of them have much hair, so it's easy to mix them up.
And that coming from Fathead. Thank you.
Oh, man. Guys, should trading blows here on the air. Coach, been a few weeks since we talked. The last time we talked, let's see, I think that was right around the Knox matchup. A tough loss to Knox, 60-48. You turned around and fell to South Central, then Tri-Township, but you picked up a big win at Westville on the road, 58-56. Catch us up over what's happened since the last time we talked. Also, dive into that big-time win.
Yeah, I mean, the girls, we were actually down by 14 at one point, and in the second half of that Westville game, we went on an 11-2 run in the third quarter. It was about a 2-minute span. And after that game, obviously we came out with the win. Sarah Thompson hit some big free throws at the end. We got some big stops, but, after the game we told them, you can be down. Obviously you don't want to be in that situation, but you can be down and the basketball's a game of runs, and we went on that 11-2 run, and that's what got us the momentum to keep going. And we preach that all the time, but there's not always something to show them how it works. And in that game, we were able to do so. And, they were excited. And then we had a few weeks off and trying to just, get back to working basics and making sure that we're understanding what we're out there, what our job is, what our role is as a player on the team and coaches as well. And, just making sure that we're fine-tuning for the end of the season that's coming up here. And, our record isn't the best, but the good thing about it is it doesn't matter when it comes tournament time what your record is. Anybody can go out there on any given night and, upset someone or just go to victory and make sure that they're ready for the next opponent coming ahead.
I had I do have a very close friend. He came up with this saying that, of course, he's not the one that originated it, I'm sure, but it's always stuck with me. And whenever I'm having a tough time, I always think back to it. He said, there's beauty in the struggle. And to go through struggling makes the times when you are not struggling that much more memorable. And I know this isn't where you want your team to be. I know that just by knowing you personally. And I know what you expect out of your team, and I know how you expect them to practice. I know how you expect them to play. Talk about the struggles right now that you're going through and what you're trying to do in efforts to persevere through it.
The good thing is after games, the girls understand it too. We didn't do very good in this part of the game. We did. The other night we lost. It wasn't a great game for us against Triton, but, one of the positives were that we went 9 for 9 from the free throw line. We got to get there more. But, there are things that we can pick out. It's just, even after the game, I had teachers coming up and the girls are talking about the game and they know, it wasn't their best effort, but they're ready for the next one. And with Triton, we play them first round of Bi-County and then we could possibly draw them in the sectional. So, we have other opportunities to go back and hopefully play a better game and compete. But, when you're not being as successful as you'd like, it's just making sure that you're watching game film and you're seeing the different things that you're doing. Just because we tell them something, they don't always understand it till you show them. No, that's not what happened. And then when you watch the film, oh, that's what you mean. And just girls, boys, high school players, they've got to be able to see what happened and how to fix it. And the good thing is we have very coachable kids and they're going to do what we ask them to do, and they're not going to have their A game every night, but they're going to give us what they have.
Yeah, your season's winding down very fast here, Coach. Your last game, like you said, will be at the Bi-County tournament against Triton. Or is that the Bi-County tournament, or is that just another tournament?
The Bi-County tournament, we actually did add one more because we lost a game at the end of the season, but after Bi-County, but yeah.
So, it's coming up fast here. You're at the latter portion of the season. You're getting ready for the postseason. Can't believe it already. What's the goal heading into sectionals? I know you've got other games leading up to that, but what's the goal here to end the season, maybe I should say?
Work our tails off, show up. If I had to guess, Marquette's probably the favorite in our sectional. But as long as we come out and do what we're supposed to, run our break, play good, hard-nosed defense, and just give everything we've got, we have a chance at it. And, you have Argus, you have Triton, you have Culver, you have a lot of other great teams in that sectional. So it's going to be a battle. It's just we have to make sure that we are stepping up and knocking down shots and not second-guessing ourselves and having confidence in what we're doing. And, I tell the girls a lot, you can't go in thinking you're going to make a mistake, because then you're going to make a mistake. Just play your heart out. Give me what you got. If you make a mistake, just make it up on the other end.
Well, Coach, I appreciate you coming in and talk to us. Happy New Year, by the way. Did you have a good holiday break?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Good.
Good bonding time.
Talk about the holiday break, dealing with that with the girls. Was that tough to deal with over break? Did you have practices, I assume, keeping them focused? I know you probably heard Coach Stasiak. He told me last night, I mentioned it earlier, he said if he could write a book, man, he'd be very wealthy to figure out how to keep everyone on the same page through the holiday break.
Yeah, obviously we didn't play many games over the break, but we only have 7 girls that are able to get out there and work, but we were able to actually go up against, lucky Coach Center was okay with it, we went up against the boys a little bit to be able to get that 5-on-5, and obviously they're bigger than us and we have to box out and different things, but we did go out with the boys and girls one day and do some team bonding stuff. And, that having Coach Center also be a coach in our system, he's up for whatever, and that makes it nice. And the kids enjoy it. It's not always about basketball 24/7. We're able to get to know each other and have a little bit of fun, and even talk basketball while we're doing it. But they had a lot of fun, and so did we. And hopefully they understand that. We do want them to do well on the court, but we do, want them to have fun and just get to know us a little bit more and make memories while they're doing it, because you're only in high school for 4 years, and it goes fast whether you think it does or it doesn't. But no, we enjoyed it. Now we're back and we're ready to go, and the boys play tonight. So
yep.
Hopefully they get a win tonight, and then we'll just keep it rolling from there.
You got Victory Christian on Tuesday. What can you share with us about them?
They run a zone. It's kind of unorthodox, I would say, but they do a really good job at jumping out in the passing lanes and pushing the ball up the floor. They got a girl that can knock down the shot. When she's set up and ready to go, but we just have to make sure for us that we're running our break. I don't believe that they get back very well, so if we can run our break, then we don't have to set up an offense, which is best for us. But we have them, and then we have Argus, who has Redinger, who great player, and then we play River Forest, and then we go into the Bi-County. January is our busy time, but that's the most fun.
Well, Coach, I'm excited to see how you guys finish off the season. I appreciate you coming in here and talking with us. It means a lot. Good luck against Victory Christian this coming week.
All right. Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
Of course. That is head coach of the Oregon Davis Lady Cats here on the Saturday Sports Line, Aubrey Lady. We are so glad she had an opportunity to come in. We are going to the top of the hour. Our Athlete of the Week interview is next. Then an interview with head coach Kenny Neilson of the West Central wrestling team. He's the head coach. Then we're going to have on the line head coach of the North Judson-San Pierre Lady Blue Jays, Whitney Combs, and then Matty Bush, head coach of the South Central Satellites. That's all in the second hour. The Saturday Sports Line continues.
Basketball is my favorite sport. I like the way they dribble up and down the court. I keep it so fresh on the microphone. I like no interruption when the game.
From the Pulaski Memorial Hospital Studios, quality care closer to home. You're listening to WKVI FM 99.3. Knox, North Judson, Winnemac, playing the best of Vinyl Gold, a service of Kankakee Valley Broadcasting.
It's time now for Hour 2 of the Saturday Sports Line with your host, Kankakee Valley Broadcasting's WKVI Sports Director, Mitch Columbi, and sports analyst, Chris McGowen.
We are back. Back for more from the Pulaski Memorial Hospital Studios. This is the longest-running high school sports show in Indiana, the Saturday Sports Line. It's time to talk about our Tyler Roth WKVI Co-Athletes of the Week from West Central. Yes, Co-Athletes of the Week, twin brothers, Hayden and Drake Fritz. We had a chance to catch up with Hayden last year as he was one of our Tyler Roth WKVI Athletes of the Week. Now his brother joins him as we both named them our Athletes of the Week right before our holiday break. I had a chance to catch up with them this past Wednesday, as well as their head coach, Kenny Neilson. Since we have announced them being our Co-Athletes of the Week, they have won quite a bit more. Without further ado, here's my sit-down interview with West Central Trojan wrestlers, Hayden and Drake Fritz.
I am here with our Co-Athletes of the Week, our Tyler Roth Co-Athletes of the Week, Hayden and Drake Fritz. Hayden, long time no see, buddy. We talked to you last year. Though this time we're with your twin brother. You guys just eclipsed 100. Well, you didn't just. You did this, a few weeks ago now. You have eclipsed 100 career wins on the wrestling mat. I'll start with you, Hayden, since we all know you. What does this mean to you when you hear you have won 100 matches?
I mean, it feels good, but I always like to win more. There's a lot of people that have got 100, but there's not a lot of people that have got a lot more than that.
Drake, I got to ask you the same question. 100 career wins. That's pretty impressive, and you still got time to go. You still got, like we've talked before the interview, you still got several meets to go. When you hear you've won 100 matches, what's that mean to you?
It means a lot, but it's also like if you have a decent season for 4 years in a row, you're going to probably get pretty close to 100. So a lot of people are going to do it. So more important to me is like how many past 100 I can go, and then later in the season what I can do.
What does wrestling mean to you? You know, I talked to Hayden last year. It means an awful lot to him. What's it mean to you, Drake?
It's a good sport. It teaches you a lot more than just how to wrestle. It teaches you good, valuable things you need in life, like discipline and hard work.
What's it like being able to wrestle with your brother?
It's good, and it's nice to have someone in the room that can always push you and always is ready to work to the same level you want to work to.
Hayden, I'll ask you same question. I may have asked this last year, but just for the sense he's sitting here right now, what's it like being able to wrestle on the same team as your brother?
It's good. I mean, like he said, it's good to have someone that's always wants the same thing as you. There's people on our team that work hard, but Drake just wants everything as much as I want it, so it's good to have someone to push me.
When I've talked with some of the other coaches in the area, it's always the Fritz brothers, you know, and that name seems to be talked about throughout the area, not just from your coach. You know, your coach, we've talked with him, Coach Neilson, and he says what you guys bring to the table, it actually sets the bar for everyone else. Talk about some of the other wrestlers on this team. I'll ask Drake here. Talk about some of the other wrestlers that you think really make this West Central Trojan team.
Our seniors are a big part of our team. Josiah Rodriguez he's a weight class above me. We practice together a lot. He's real good. He can push us too. And then we have two other seniors who also score a lot of points for our team.
Is there anyone that you would like to highlight that maybe he missed, Hayden, on this team? Who do you think needs to be spoken about as well?
Along with our seniors, we also have a lot of underclassmen that are filling spots because we don't have a ton of people on our team. Cameron Noose, he was 92 pounds, wrestling 106 last year, and he's finally up to 106 pounds, so he's going to have a good season. And then there's quite a bit of freshmen that came up this year.
Now, are you both in the same weight class?
No, I'm 132, he's 138.
So being in the 132 weight class and your brother being in a 138, is there really that much difference, or does that jump up from a weight class really change things?
I mean, it's not a huge difference because I usually weigh about the same as him during practice. I just have to lose it all before a meet to weigh in.
Gotcha. What's weighing in at 138? When you're wrestling at the 138 category, is there times where you feel like it's challenging, or maybe you think you could go to the next level?
It's all just depends on who's where. Every year, a different weight class is going to be harder than another weight class. 138 and like the middle weights are usually always pretty solid, though.
Yeah, Drake, we talked a while ago before the interview. You've won more. You both have won more since we announced you guys being our Tyler Roth Co-Athletes of the Week. You've won 8 matches since that time, and that's all the matches that you've been in since that time. It seems like you guys are just having your way right now. Does it feel like that to you, or has this really just been a battle?
No, we've been doing good. We go out there and we work hard and we try to win and we get the win.
Does it feel like you're having your way out there, Hayden?
Yeah, I mean, I obviously go out there to win, but I go out there not to lose. If I'm going to lose, I'm going to make it a tough match for the other person, and then usually that'll help you come out on top.
I know Team State is happening this Saturday. What in your mind, and from what we talked, it's the 12 best schools in 1A competing against each other here. The competition, I assume, will amp up a little bit here this weekend. What are you anticipating seeing, Hayden?
It's a lot of good competition, which I'm ready to get better competition. Not that I haven't had good competition, but good matches are going to prepare you the most. So I'm ready to wrestle some good teams and see how good our team really is.
Yeah, let's get your thoughts, Drake. What do you think you're going to see this weekend?
There is 4 people from those 12 teams ranked top 20 at the state at 138, so I'm going to have some tough matches. If I pick up a loss, I learn a lesson, so we'll see what happens.
Is that the mindset you kind of have to have going into meets like this?
Yeah.
Tell us your guys' parents' names, Drake.
My mom is Nicole and my dad is Matthew.
And talk about the support system they have been for you and your brother.
They've been awesome. Ever since we started wrestling, they've been the ones that take us to every practice, take us to every meet, bought us all our equipment. They've never missed a meet that I've wrestled in, so it means a lot to have parents that support you like that.
Hayden, I know I asked you this question last year, but let's just do a refresher. What is the support system like from your parents?
I mean, like he said, they take us everywhere and they make sure we have everything that we need, but they also will push me to be the best. My dad, he knows a lot about wrestling and will help us out when we need it. And then along with my parents, a lot of my family, my grandparents and my aunt and uncle come to a lot, so it means a lot to have a good support system.
So what's the overall goal for this team, maybe at team states, but also talk about individually? What's your goal to finish off this year, Hayden?
Well, team state, we're seeded second, so hopefully that we could finish to our seed, but who knows what will happen. And then individually, I would like to make it back to state this year.
And if you are able to get back to state, what are you going to make sure happens this time around?
I'm just going to go out there and try my hardest again on Friday night and maybe see if I can place on Saturday.
Drake, I'll ask you the question. What's the overall goal for this team here going into team states, but also individually, what do you want to see happen for yourself to end the season?
Like he said, at team state, we got the second seed, so I'd really like to see if we can wrestle to that second seed and win some good quality duels. And then individually, I also want to make it to state again, but I think it'd be a lot cooler if I could do it at the same time as my brother, so that's really the goal for this season.
Well, guys, it's been an exciting time keeping up with you. Coach Neilson does a good job of getting me your information. We're letting everybody know on the radio throughout the week on our sports checks what you guys have been accomplishing. So we appreciate your time today. Congratulations. Good luck this weekend at Team State. Good luck individually the rest of the way.
Thank you.
Well, it was great to catch up with Hayden. As I mentioned, we had a chance to talk with him last year. Also was great to meet his brother. I also had a chance to catch up with head coach Kenny Neilson as they are at Team States today. We talked with Kenny on Wednesday. Here's that interview. Coach, how are you today? Thank you for your time.
Oh, Mitch, I'm doing great today. Would like to shake the cold that I have, but it just seems to just keep lingering on. Otherwise, I'm doing great.
Well, good. You know, I keep an eye on this Trojan wrestling team. Of course, you make sure to get me all this information. I really appreciate it. But I just had a chance to talk with the Fritz brothers. Of course, they're our Tyler Roth WKVI co-athletes of the week. And, man, they are something else for you guys. Over 100 career wrestling wins for the Trojans. I know there's a lot more than the Fritz brothers on this team, but just take a moment and tell me how much the Fritz brothers mean to the Trojan Nation.
Well, they're leaders in the room. They're leaders on the mat. They're leaders off the mat. You couldn't ask for two nicer kids, very well behaved and everything. So, they're kind of the cornerstone of the program. But, as you say, they're not the only thing, that's within our program. But they are a big part of it.
Yeah, you speak about growing. The girls' wrestling team, from what you've shared with us, has grown by leaps and bounds over the last few seasons. Talk about what that means for your program.
Well, it's really nice. This year we have a couple ladies who are wrestling, and then in the future we'd like to get more. This past weekend they traveled to Winnemac for the regional. Girls wrestling is kind of new, so they don't have a sectional per se. They just actually go right to regional. And then there's 16 regional sites that'll feed into 4 semi-state sites. And Tia Peter, a junior, and Chloe Oxier, a freshman, they went to Winnemac last weekend, and they participated in the regional there.
Wow.
Tomorrow, Coach Nate Williams, will be taking the two ladies to Penn for the semi-state. kind of first time we've ever had a regional champion, and Tia Peter was the regional champion last week, and Chloe got 4th, so they both qualified for semi-state. So they're going up to Penn tomorrow night. I'm staying home to run practice with the boys, but yeah, Saturday's probably our biggest meet of the year so far. We're traveling to Rochester for the IHSWCA team state duels, which you have to qualify for. We've qualified 2 years in a row just by being the top 1A team in the East Chicago semi-state. So it's a big deal for us, and it's really a big deal for the boys to be going.
Yeah, absolutely. You mentioned some of the coaching staff. Who do you have with you this year helping you out?
I don't even call Nate Williams my assistant because he's not really an assistant. He runs the on the mat stuff, all that stuff. Just and with my help. But Nate's been in and out of the program for years. Coached him when he was in middle school and high school. He took a few years off. He came back as a volunteer, and then a few years ago, we moved him into the staff as an quote unquote assistant, where he does such a great job. He's a young enough guy. I'm too old to roll around on the mat with the kids. He's young enough yet that he can still do that, and he does a great job. And then we have a couple volunteer assistants that help us out too in Matt Fritz and Jamie Fritz. Matt's Drake and Hayden's dad, and Jamie is their uncle.
Other than the girls you mentioned, and then also the Fritz brothers, tell us about some other wrestlers we need to know about on this West Central team.
Well, we've got quite a good lineup of kids. We got a lot of young guys. I think 4 or 5 freshmen. Brandon Davis, he wrestles 113 for us. Diego Hernandez, he's a JV guy. Nathan Peter, who wrestles 120 for us at varsity, he's done a great job this year. Ezra Rodriguez at 150. He's had at different times some really good matches. Had a really good match against Rochester. We had a very tight match with Rochester. He was able to secure a pin. We had just one match left to go, and he put us up with his pin, put us up by 9 points, which kept Rochester from getting enough points in the last match if they did pin our wrestler to beat us. Sophomore-wise, Marcus Davis, he took a year off. He played basketball, decided that he didn't want to. Younger brother Brandon didn't want to play basketball, so we got those guys. Jacoby Mills, who wrestled a lot for us last year. Cam Moose, who is our 106-pounder again this year, who's had a great season. And Israel Williams, which is Nate's nephew. He's wrestling 126. He's had a really good year for us. Just a few juniors. We've got Tia and boy, putting me right on the spot here. And Kristen Lutnitz. But yeah, and then there's 3 other seniors: Zach Gilger, Josiah Rodriguez, and Jacob Pilarski. That senior group, they've been together since 6th grade, and it's just been my pleasure to have coached these young men.
What's the goal here for Saturday?
Well, Team State. Well, we with our win over Rochester back right before Christmas, it put us into the 2nd seed, which has put us into we're in the number 2 spot in 1A right now. Our big goal is to back that up. I think a few people think, well, maybe they're not that good, but when we come out, we wrestle hard, we wrestle strong, we are that good. So our big goal is hey, we want to back this up. We want to win the entire thing, but we want to make sure we have a good showing along the way while we do it.
Well, Coach, as always, I appreciate your time, and we'll look to get with you here in the next couple of weeks, we hope.
All right, sounds really good.
Hey, good luck this weekend, and we'll talk soon.
Thank you.
Big time thank you to Coach Neilson, also to the Fritz brothers and Athletic Director Jeff Messer for helping me set that interview up. As we are going to take a break and come back, more sports talk coming your way. You're listening to Kankakee Valley Broadcasting's WKVI.
Guess who just got back today? Them wild-eyed boys that had been away haven't changed, had much to say, but man, I still think them cats are crazy. They were asking if you were around, how you was, where you could be found. I told them you were living downtown, driving all the old men crazy. The boys are back in town, boys are back in town. I said, the boys are back in town, the boys are back in town. The boys are back in town, the boys are back in town, boys are back in town, boys are back in town.
The Stark County Co-op has been a member-owned farm services co-op in Stark County since 1928. That's over 90 years, and they're still providing the same quality agronomy services to the farming community of Stark and surrounding counties. The Stark County Co-op is an LP and fuel provider. The Stark County Co-op purchases grain at both locations, Hamlet and Brems. You can reach them by phone at 1-800-782-3392.
Stay tuned for more sports talk with Mitch Columbi and Chris McGowen on the longest-running high school sports show in Indiana, the Saturday Sports Line.
Pulaski Memorial Hospital. Quality care closer to home. Pulaski Memorial Hospital is all about community and keeping our community spotlight shining on the accomplishments of our youth. That's why PMH is proud to be a sponsor of our local high school sports action on WKVI, our community radio station. Pulaski Memorial Hospital. Quality care closer to home.
Let's continue the conversation with area high school coaches and more on the Saturday Sports Line.
45-42, three-point ball game, full court pressure from the Warriors. The Redskins push it forward to Elise Wolf. She's got all the space in the world. Puts up a right-handed layup. She gets it to go, and the and one.
Welcome back to the Pulaski Memorial Hospital studios. This is the Saturday Sports Line. Mitch Columbi here. We are talking the North Judson-San Pierre Lady Blue Jays basketball team with head coach Whitney Combs. We've got her on the line. Happy New Year, Coach. How are you?
Happy New Year, Mitch. Doing well. Hope you had a good Christmas.
I did. I had a fantastic Christmas. I hope you did as well.
Sure did.
Good. Well, since the last time we talked, I know you've had a couple of losses here, tough ones. One to West Central in overtime, 52-51. Of course, we were there for that one. And then on the 4th this past week, just a couple of days ago against Kankakee Valley, 44-38. But some positive news coming out over the last couple weeks is Kylie Lehigh. I mean, my goodness, every time I get on social media, it seems like she's got another double-double, Coach.
Yeah, I mean, she's been super big for us this season. She always comes to compete. She's almost averaging a double-double. She's averaging 13 points, 9.8 rebounds, and not to mention her 5 steals that she averages a game. She's had 7 double-doubles on the season and 2 triple-doubles. I mean, pretty awesome.
Yeah, she's getting the job done.
Yeah, she is shooting 46% from the field. It's pretty good.
It is impressive. It's probably one of the better players in our area when it comes to girls basketball. When you've got somebody on your team like that, what are you telling some of the other players in hopes they step up, because the other team knows they've got to keep their eye on her?
I mean, we have girls step up. Kylie gets a lot of her points by putbacks and her steals. You know, she's aggressive on defense, and that helps her out on offense a lot. You know, Kaylin Tunis, she's averaging almost 10 points a game. She gets to the basket really well for us. She can shoot well. You know, it seems like every time our team needs some points, she's there to give us some. Then we got Reagan. You know, she comes in. She's averaging about 7 points for us. She's super scrappy for us. She can get to the rim. She gets a good shot off here and there when she's open. we like her to drive, because she's super aggressive that way. And then we have Avery Johnson, she handles the ball super well for us. That's point guard's a tough job, and coming in, being the point guard as a freshman, she's stepping into her role really well. She's averaging about 4 points a game and 3 assists. So we have a lot of people stepping up for us. I think we're finally coming together as a team, Our bench is coming in and playing big minutes for us. They're playing really well when they get in there, and I feel like that's something you get really excited for as a coach, Having a deep bench makes you hard to scout and play against. Yeah. And when foul trouble, arises, you can look to the bench, and you have 8 girls that can still go in and play good minutes for you.
No, I love a good bench. I was a bench player, and I always prided myself. You come off the bench, and you provide that spark. That's what you're supposed to do as a bench player, and it sounds like you've got the players to do exactly that. I look at your schedule. You've split the first 2 conference games with Caston and Culver. You unfortunately fell to Caston, but you beat Culver. Now you're coming up against LaVille, another conference foe, on Tuesday. What do you know about them?
I mean, LaVille, they are conference game, our sectional opponent, they always play us tough. They're really scrappy from what we've seen so far. They like to get in your face in defense. So we'll have to be able to handle the pressure for that. Not only LaVille, we have 7 games left of the season, and 5 of them are conference games.
Yeah, I know. It's all right here at the end.
Yeah.
Of course, would you want it any other way? Some of your best games will happen towards the end, right into the postseason.
Yep, that's great for us, get us ready for sectional time, because sectionals are big.
Oh, man. And it's really crazy. We're already here. Your next game, January 9th here, this coming Tuesday. But then, like you said, there's just 6-7 games left of the season.
Right. At
this point in time where your team's at, are you happy where you're at?
I'm very happy. We're finally coming together. We're learning our roles. We're playing together as a team. That was our biggest thing. A lot of these girls, they've had multiple coaches throughout their whole high school career, so they're having to relearn programs, each year or two. So I think we're finally getting into the swing of things. Everyone's, learning what we expect of them, and, they're doing the roles really well.
Yeah, this is actually the first time you're coming into a game where you've lost the previous 3. What's the message right now to the girls to get back into the win column here?
I mean, we just got to play our game. I was really impressed with the way we played KV. We had almost 2 weeks off. We came out and we competed with a 4A school. We were with it until the last couple minutes, with them 2 to 3 points the whole entire game. They hit some big threes that they weren't hitting at the first 3 quarters. But I was really proud of our energy and everything there. Our defense, our rotations, they are right where we need them to be. So we just have to keep doing that. If we play like that for the rest of the season, I will be so happy.
Oh, you and me both, Coach. It's fun to keep up with you guys on social media. You guys do such a good job of promoting your team and letting me know what's going on so that I can reshare that. I appreciate that so much. You have no idea.
We want the girls some recognition. They're working really hard all season, so we want to get them out there.
Yeah, absolutely, and I appreciate you for that. And besides Kylie Lehigh, like you said, you've got other players. Anna Garbison's one that comes to mind. Share with some of the other players maybe we haven't talked about, maybe some underclassmen that have really surprised you throughout this season.
We have Kaya. She's a senior. She's a senior. What the heck? She's a sophomore. She's coming in, and she does what she's supposed to do really well for us. She'll handle the ball. She gets to the basket for us. We have McKinley Dushak and Gracie Minix. They didn't play last year, so they're coming back in, and they come in, and they're the spark that we need. They're there for defense. They have really tough post defense. Their help side is awesome. When we need Anna, just like you said, she's just a team player, man. She's there to do whatever you need her to do. If you need her to score, she'll do her best to score. If you need her to get a big stop, she's there. She's helping her teammates. She's help side all the time.
How's the coaching staff doing?
We're doing well. We're getting in the groove of things too. It's crazy that we only have 3 weeks left.
I know, Coach.
Until sectional time, it went fast.
It doesn't seem fair, does it?
No.
Well, when the football team do so well, it pushes the start back, and it just seems like time's flown. But I appreciate you taking the time, Coach. What's your message for Blue Jay Nation right now heading into this home game against LaVille on Tuesday?
Well, we only have 3 weeks left in the regular season. We have some big games coming up. These girls are continuing to work hard. They're under a new program. Come out and catch a game if you can. We appreciate all your guys' support.
I appreciate your time, Coach. Thanks so much. Tell Denver I said hello, and we'll talk soon.
I sure will. Thank you, Mitch.
All right, that is head coach of the North Judson-San Pierre Lady Blue Jays, Whitney Combs, here on the Saturday Sports Line. We're going to take a break and come back. We've got Matty Bush, head coach of the South Central Satellites boys basketball team, in the house. First time I had a chance to meet him. What a great guy. Already can tell. We're going to take a break, come back, have a chat with him. Don't go anywhere. This is the Saturday Sports Line.
Pulaski Memorial Hospital. Quality care closer to home. Pulaski Memorial Hospital is all about community and keeping our community spotlight shining on the accomplishments of our youth. That's why PMH is proud to be a sponsor of our local high school sports action on WKVI, our community radio station. Pulaski Memorial Hospital. Quality care closer to home.
Stay tuned for more sports talk with Mitch Columbi on Kankakee Valley Broadcasting's WKVI.
Real magic is everywhere. It's in your mom's cooking, in 4-hour dinners with friends, in that first bite of something new, and in the fizz of a Coca-Cola. Now with so many options for less than $5, the Coca-Cola Value Collection will help you make the most out of every magic moment for so much less. Taste the magic for less with Coca-Cola.
It's hard to believe, but time sure does fly by. Collins Insurance Agency in downtown Knox are celebrating over 30 years of taking care of all of your insurance needs in our communities.
If I could turn back time.
And we're not going anywhere.
Stop in and see Jim and the crew at Collins Insurance Agency in downtown Knox.
Insurance you can count on from a business you've trusted since 1989.
Proud presidential partners of Western Reserve.
Here's more with area high school coaches as we return to the Saturday Sports Line from the Pulaski Memorial Hospital Studios on K99.3.
And we welcome you back from the Pulaski Memorial Hospital Studios. It's the Saturday Sports Line. Mitch Columbi along with sports analyst Chris McGowen. We have, for the first time in the house, head coach of the South Central Satellites boys basketball team, Matty Bush. Good morning, Coach. How are you today?
Morning. Good.
You can bring that mic in closer if you want. Feel free. Don't be shy. Don't be shy. Well, Coach, we had a chance to talk last night on the phone. I appreciate it. Tough loss last night to Hebron. But right now you're sitting at 500, 5-5. And, when you come into a situation where you're taking over the team for the first year, you never know what you're going to see. Of course, I know some of the players. I know Derek Welsh and Kevin Higley and Colin Ward. We remember them from last year. Another guy I always really liked was Jay Huerta. He's a sophomore, I think, now. You guys got some players. I'm sure it's taking some time getting used to each other, but talk us through the beginning of the season and what you've learned about this team and where you're at so far.
Well, the first thing is, right from the start, I realized early on that I was going to have a bunch of good kids. They work really hard. You tell them to do something, and they try as hard as possible to do it. And that's continued all through the season. So even preseason conditioning, our guys were awesome. Our coaching staff is really good. We have Dave Allen. He's a volunteer guy, came in, worked on football staffs and military guy. He comes in, just runs our conditioning program, and our guys just love it. And they're in 6 a.m. We're flipping tires, and they just work really hard. And so I knew with that as a base that we could build from there, because if you have kids that'll work and do what you tell them, then you can always get better. And and so that's the key. So our guys, I just couldn't be proud of the effort they give every single day.
Well, and you kind of mentioned it last night. You said Derek Welsh is kind of the leading man right now, but then they've also got Colin Ward, Kevin Higley. Talk about some of the other players on this team that we didn't get a chance to talk about last night.
Yeah, our juniors that also start, Braden and Clayton, they just do tremendous stuff. Like last night, Braden, we call him Lala. He he's going up against 6'7" guys, and he's just in there battling, getting rebounds. And, he played a really great game. It doesn't show up really in the stats all the time, but he had a tough assignment. And, when we were looking at it, we're like, well, maybe we'll have to go to some small lineups. And really, he got in a little foul trouble in the first quarter. I wish I could have played him more because when we got him back in the game, he just battled. And so I was really proud of him. And then Clayton, I feel like I can almost never take him off the floor. So we've really tried to build around defense. And when we play a team that has a really good player, Clayton, you got him. And he's always doing a great job. And we've really tried to build on defense, and our guys have bought into that. And I think we've really become a really, really good defensive team. So,
Well, it's early on in the season, I guess, for the boys still. You got a lot of time left. You've got Boone Grove. Of course, we talked about it last night. You faced Boone Grove in holiday tournament action. A tough loss there, 48-47. 1-point loss. Now you turn around, you face them on their home floor. It's a conference matchup. So what do you know about Boone Grove that you can share with us you've learned from your first matchup? It must have been down to the wire.
Yeah, we had the ball, 8 seconds left, and Derek got a good look, and it just didn't go in. But they're really well coached. I know Dean really well, and he's a good coach. He'll have them prepared. He made some good adjustments, and this is the fun part in conference play. You play teams a couple times. Okay, they did this. Now we're going to do that, and so we'll put together a plan and see what we can do to bounce back, and maybe hopefully the result goes the other way this time.
One thing, no, go ahead.
I was just going to go back to the beginning here. You got the job late in July. Talk about the process. Being a new coach, about getting your system implemented. How did that go?
Early on, I had a lot of people. Everybody loves to talk about offense, and so a lot of people, well, what kind of system are you going to run? And I was honest with them. I said, I don't know. I have to learn what our guys can do.
Right.
I'm not really a system coach where we're going to do this system, and that doesn't matter who we have. I want to know what our guys can do and then build around that. We might do different stuff on a year-to-year basis if our personnel changes and we have a new freshman or sophomore class coming up. So I said, I don't know, but I know one thing. We'll be prepared, we'll play hard, and we'll play good defense. And we can always start there because defense travels, and I love hard-nosed man-to-man defense. So that's, if somebody asks me what my system is, that's what I'll say.
Yeah, it's funny because, you talk about, I hate referring back to my team and all that, but you talk about offense, and I agree with you because I have different offenses I've run depending on what five I have on the floor at the given moment. So yeah, there's one offense that this five is really good at. There's another offense that this five is really good at. So again, it's funny that you say that, but I'm like you. Defense, yeah, it travels, it translates. Doesn't matter what you do offensively. If you hold a team, if you keep a team from scoring, you're going to win basketball games.
Yeah.
Well, Coach, talk about your coaching staff. Who do you have with you this year?
So I have basically an alumni South Central staff for the most part. My varsity assistant, Kurt Welsh, who really I met him the day that I got hired. He was doing the interim coaching in the summer, and it's funny. We went to Wings, etc., and talked about what they're doing this summer, and didn't know him really at all. I knew the name from just back in the day because my dad coached against him, and we just hit it off right from the go. We see eye to eye on a lot of stuff, and I told him what I wanted to do, and he's just the most supportive dude of the kids. He every day he works hard. I feel like, obviously biased, but I feel like we have the best staff in the whole area. Our JV coach, Steve Schroeder, another him and Joey Cuff are both doing JV, and the time they put in, the extra effort. I mean, Coach Schroeder, Steve, he's finding JV games on YouTube and scouting, and and
that's awesome.
And so the effort they give is, it shows the guys how hard to work. Like, we're trying to set an example as a staff of how, if the guys see the coaching staff working really hard, and then they know, like, okay, these guys care about us, we have to give effort too, know, and so I'm really proud of our staff. They all put in a tremendous amount of effort, and they care a lot, and that's all you can really ask. So,
well, it looks like you got the people you need in your corner fighting for you. So you kind of mentioned it a little bit. You kind of talked to them about what your philosophy is. It's just you had to see what they had. Once you found out what you had with this team, what was the first thought in your mind of how you were going to attack things?
Well, we had struggles with turnovers last year when I looked at our stats. So that was one of the first things, was really to build fundamentals. We did a ton of skill work in the early part of the season, ball handling, shooting, which I think is the basis of any good basketball program, is fundamentals. Even at the highest levels, if you watch even NBA guys, Steph Curry, he spends 20, 30 minutes on ball handling before every game. It's something you can never give up. So that's when I saw our turnover numbers from last year, that was like one of the first things that I said was, okay, we have to get better at this. Because, for example, back to defense again, but I talk to our guys all the time, and I like analytics, and I like to look at numbers. And when I have more time in the offseason, I'd love to look and break down film of our half-court defense versus when we give up transition baskets, because just on the eye test, it feels like if we guard people in the half-court and we can get them into the half-court, they really struggle to score. But when we turn it over and allow them transition baskets, I tell them all the time, it's a double hurt thing. We don't get a shot at the basket, and then we'd let them not have to play against our half-court defense. So ball handling, we did a lot of that stuff. So we kind of made an adjustment, and I actually went back to running a little bit of an offense that we ran with my dad at Morgan when I was playing for him. And I think it's really worked well, and we're starting to figure some stuff out. And our guys, again, they've really bought in. And we started off the game last night. I think we had a 10-12-7 lead against them in the first quarter. And then the turnovers kind of got us again. And I think that if we can really continue to improve, to take care of the basketball, we'll start to get better on the offensive end, because our guys understand how to run our offense, how to get open, how to cut. It's just that part of it that we have to kind of figure out still.
Sure. You're getting ready for the PCC banquet, I assume, tomorrow.
Yep.
You've got the tournament coming up. What do you expect you're going to see in the tournament? I know you've got games ahead, but you talked about Boone Grove a little bit, then you've got Whiting, but the tournament, I keep hearing about this PCC banquet. I'm going to be going tomorrow, so I'm pretty excited about it. But what do you know about the PCC tournament, and what are you getting ready for with your team?
Well, I played in it, obviously, as a player at Morgan, and I'm looking forward to it. I love the PCC tournament just because it's, a small school tournament, and the fans and the people love it. It'll be great crowds. And, it's a little taste of, what we're going to have in the sectionals, and it's a championship to play for. And so I'm really looking forward to the banquet. I love that, the PCC does this kind of stuff, that we get to go to a banquet, and, it makes the guys feel like they're a part of something. And so I'm excited for it. I'm excited to see who we draw and to get ready for it, and to get our guys ready to play tournament basketball. I mean, what's better than that?
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Oh, yeah. You're going to be in for a treat tomorrow with it being your first one. I remember my first one when I wasn't part of the PCC
What's
yet.
What's the dress?
Formal.
Tie.
Yeah.
Okay.
Formal dress.
I didn't want to show up in a T-shirt.
Yeah. No, it's formal. Everybody's going to be dressed up.
Okay.
But again, I remember my first one, and when Harold and I, doing this, we got invited, and him and I both left that PCC banquet going, I mean, our jaws were dropped, and we're like, oh my God, that was amazing. So, that made me, when I got the opportunity to go to lacrosse and coach, to be a part of that, that was a big reason why I wanted to go, to be a part of that. I mean, it's unbelievable. The highlight reels that they play beforehand, the motivational speaker, and then the blind draw, the tournament. It's funny because you can just hear the silence, when they get ready to do the draw. I mean, you can just cut the electricity with a knife, and then, when teams get drawn and the reaction, because it's in real time.
Sure.
And it's special.
Well, Coach, I really appreciate you coming in here and talking to us about your ball club. We're going to be seeing you in action. And, of course, we'll continue to talk with you. And I really liked having you on the post game last night. That was really cool. I know it was a tough loss, but that's something I kind of want to do in the future of our other area teams that we're not broadcasting for that night. I'd love if we have an opportunity to call. And last night you had the opportunity. That really just made me really happy. So I really am glad you had the time last night as well.
Thanks for having me on. And, anytime, give me a call, and I'll try to hop on when I can.
All right, Coach. Thanks a lot. I appreciate it. Enjoy the rest of your weekend.
Thank you.
All right. I'll see you tomorrow.
All right, yep, see you tomorrow at the bank.
That is head coach of the South Central Satellites, Matty Bush, here on the Saturday Sports Line. We are going straight to the Where Are They Now segment with Harold Welter. You know him well. This is the longest-running high school sports show in Indiana, the Saturday Sports Line.
He then finds Justin Potoff, far side of the floor, then back up top to Brendan Hines. Hines, entry pass to John Malco, back out. Justin Potoff pops the three! Yes! Splash, baby! 36-34. Take it easy. It's all right. Take it easy.
Stay tuned for more sports talk with Mitch Columbi and Chris McGowen on the longest running high school sports show in Indiana, the Saturday Sports Line.
It's time now for Where Are They Now? A look back at more than a half century of local high school sports coverage on Kankakee Valley Broadcasting's WKVI. Today's program is brought to you by Osborne's Mini Mart in Knox. Now let's meet one of the local high school sports figures from more than 50 years of WKVI sports and find out where are they now.
Well, as we look back on more than a half century of broadcasting high school sports in the Kankakee Valley here on WKVI, our guest is Stephanie Balon Garza, a 2011 graduate of South Central High School, and we call this segment, Where Are They Now? So, Stephanie, where are you now, and what are you doing?
So I actually live in Chicago with my husband, and we have a 10-month-old. I'm an optometrist that works at a private practice in the suburbs of Chicago. And we focus on a lot of corneal diseases.
So you've got plenty to keep you busy, huh?
Oh, actually, lots and lots to keep me busy.
Going back to your playing days at South Central, you had some success with the teams you played there at South Central. You won a sectional championship in softball, and you think maybe in volleyball. But at any rate, you played a lot of sports at South Central. Going back all those years, Stephanie, what's the one game that all these years later that stands out in your mind more than any other?
Probably losing sectionals for volleyball, actually. I was so mad, and I felt like we should have won. So that game probably stuck out more than any other sports games. Probably because all the other games, you give it your best, and when you lose, it's horrible. I remember being so mad after certain games that I was so mad after a sectional volleyball game because I felt like we should have won.
Isn't that funny that a loss affects you more than all those wins you had?
You don't even notice the wins when you have a loss that really just ends the season. It's hard to end the season on a win, so most likely it's a loss, and some of those losses they're hard to get over.
Well, as you played there at South Central, you were fortunate because you played with some pretty darn good athletes during your career there, didn't you?
I did. I was lucky. I had a really good group of friends, even actually, who I still keep in touch with to this day, who played with me, and it was a magical experience.
Who are some of those girls?
So Shelby Wood and Katie Beckovac, they're still two of my best friends to this day. Amy Hanna, Stephanie Campbell, still two of my best friends to this day that I see. So I'm very much keep in touch with all the girls.
As you have gone into your career now as an optometrist, how did you get into that?
So I wanted to be an optometrist when I was a kid, and I just didn't think I could do medical school because it would be too hard. And then once I went to undergrad, I realized, well, I'm already going to go to school for 3 years to get a master's if I do like physical therapy. But I was really bored with that, so I shadowed and worked a little bit as underneath an optometrist, and I loved it, and I had always been interested in it even when I was a kid, so I pursued it, and it's actually crazy because I think having sports where you have to multitask and balance so much, especially college. College is another level compared to high school. It opened up my world and prepared me because optometry school was so much work and so challenging. And time management is something that I couldn't even stress enough. Yeah. So to already have that ability, and they're looking for, when you go to school, they want someone who's well-rounded and who has some experience with that. So that sports has prepared me a lot for my job today.
Going back to your playing days, you also played some college basketball, didn't you?
I did. That was a lot more challenging and a lot different than high school.
What was the biggest difference in playing college ball as opposed to high school ball?
The level. It's on another level. You are playing and practicing. Preseason starts in June. You start conditioning. You start meeting as a team in August, and you go up until March, April. So you have like a month off. I think that's the biggest thing. And again, it's your whole life is around your basketball. So before, sports was very much important, but school was important. And when you are in college, my classes went around my games. They went around my practice. We are fortunate to have a very good coach and a very understanding coach for all of that. But unfortunately, sometimes things schedules and don't work out the way it's supposed to. So for everything to be around basketball for 4 years, the conditioning, just all of that's just another level. The people you're playing against in high school, you're the best of the best. And then you go to college, and that's not the case. So it's very eye-opening in that level as well, and playing a different role than you did in high school as well.
So at the college level, you're playing against other players that were the best of their teams in high school.
Exactly.
And your college team had some real success and is going to be named to their Hall of Fame at your school, aren't you?
I had some great players with me that they all kind of still keep. It'll be nice to see them for the the Hall of Fame induction, to see everybody. Yeah. And I actually have a bachelorette party with 8 of my teammates that's coming up in 2 months.
We're talking with Stephanie Balon Garza, a 2011 graduate of South Central High School, here on our Where Are They Now segment. And we'll continue our conversation after this time out.
Need a game plan that has your day covered from tip-off to the buzzer? Osborne's Mini Mart in Knox has you covered. Whether you like to start out with a caffeinated full-court press or control the tempo with a Subway breakfast flatbread, Osborne's Mini Mart has what you need. Don't get trapped in the corner with an empty stomach. Call a quick timeout and get 2 hot dogs. Visit Osborne's Mini Mart in Knox at the corner of US 35 and Highway 8 East to guarantee you win the day.
Our guest is Stephanie Balon Garza, a 2011 graduate of South Central High School, here on our Where Are They Now segment. Stephanie, what did you gain as a high school athlete that has helped you be successful in life?
I would say probably teamwork. You start learning about teamwork. In high school, I was so afraid to be a star, as I feel like every one of us was afraid to shine too much, because if you do that, you don't want to take away the shine from someone else. Because you are friends with everybody. And I don't regret how any of my relationships went because I'm still such good friends with everybody. And at 10 years later, as hard as it is to say, whatever happened on the court is irrelevant to where we are now. Again, there's things I don't even remember. So I would say that's the biggest thing, is having a teamwork and having teammates you really, really trust.
And finally, what advice would you have for young athletes who look at the kind of success you've had in sports and would like to have success themselves? What advice would you give those young athletes?
Work hard. There is no limits that anyone can put on you. You only limit yourself. So if you work hard and you dream big, you can do whatever you want to.
Well, Stephanie, thank you so much for taking time and reminiscing with us a little bit over some exciting times at South Central High School. That's for sure. And congratulations on your professional success as well.
Thank you.
That was Stephanie Balon Garza, a 2011 graduate of South Central High School. Join us again next week here on the Saturday Sports Line for Where Are They Now?
Where Are They Now? A look back at more than a half century of high school sports coverage on WKVI has been brought to you by Osborne's Mini Mart in Knox.
Join us each Saturday morning on WKVI for the Saturday Sports Line and worldwide on WKVI.com.
Time now for our Tyler Roth WKVI Athlete of the Week, given in memory of Tyler Roth, a 2001 graduate of Winnemac High School who died in an auto accident 1 week after his high school graduation. His legacy of hard work, outstanding citizenship, artistic success, and super athletic performance lives on with this award given every week to outstanding student athletes from the 8 schools in the Kankakee Valley. Today's award is brought to you by Web Printing and JT Shirt Shack in Winnemac, and we'll tell you who's earned the Tyler Roth WKVI Athlete of the Week after this word from Web Printing.
Web Printing and JT Shirt Shack and signs of all kinds in Winnemac is where all of your printing needs can be met. Whether it's paper, garments, or signs, Web Printing is your full-service printing solution. So if you're in need of embroidered or screen-printed garments, tickets or programs for your event, or documents for your business, Web Printing and JT Shirt Shack is the place to go. For the quickest service, best prices, and best quality, it's Web Printing and JT Shirt Shack in Winnemac.
Our Tyler Roth WKVI Athlete of the Week for this week is Jade Pryor, a member of the girls basketball team at Tri-Township High School. Jade is having an amazing season for the Lady Tigers. Just this past week, Jade broke the longtime single-game scoring record for the Lady Tigers by scoring 38 points against River Forest. She scored 26 of her 38 points in a 6-minute span. She finished the night with 38 points, 10 rebounds for a double-double, and had 7 steals. She also is one of the main leaders on this Lady Tiger team as they are still undefeated. Jade is the daughter of Angela and Will Pryor, as we congratulate Jade Pryor of Tri-Township, our Tyler Roth WKVI Athlete of the Week. Jade will receive a certificate, a history of the award, and a t-shirt commemorating her achievement, and will also be a future guest on the Saturday Sports Line. She will be eligible for our Tyler Roth WKVI Athlete of the Year award later this spring, which carries with it a plaque and a college scholarship, compliments of WKVI and the family of Tyler Roth. The Tyler Roth WKVI Athlete of the Week is brought to you by Web Printing and JT Shirt Shack in Winnemac. I'll make sure to get that interview with Miss Pryor this week, as that is going to wrap things up for us. Another Saturday Sports Line in the books, the first one of 2024. More to come. Hey, keep up to date on our sports checks. Follow us on all of our social media sites, on Instagram at WKVI Sports, on X, formerly Twitter at KVB Sports, and on Facebook at Sports to the Max for all Kankakee Valley Broadcasting sports content. Hey, you make sure to enjoy the rest of your weekend. I'm going to get on out of here. Until next time, take care. I'm Mitch Columbi. The tradition continues.
From the Pulaski Memorial Hospital studios of Kankakee Valley Broadcasting's WKVI, you've been listening to the Saturday Sports Line with Sports Director Mitch Columbi and Sports Analyst Chris McGowen.